Welcome once again to all the students. So we have successfully completed the 6 units of +1 English textbook and almost all the textual activities and all the important question answers and teaching classes also and teaching classes. So all the teaching class videos and notes videos, everything I sent you. And you have already watched everything systematically. Last time, yesterday, day before yesterday, of course, we have given the complete notes of short story Gooseberries by Anton Pavlovich Chekhov. So the coming classes, when the examination time, there will be nearly 20 marks grammar section questions are there. For example, a passage will be given to you and write down the appropriate words of the verbs given in brackets. And also another very important thing is that report direct and indirect speech. And from active voice to passive voice. And many other conditional clause sentences. We studied Rudyard Kipling's the poem If. So there are zero type conditionals and type 1 conditional, type 2 conditionals and type 3 conditionals. So all these kinds of grammar we are going to study in the coming classes. So which will help you get the full mark. Grammar is just like mathematics. If you do correctly the grammar portions of your question paper, you are sure to get the full mark if you write the correct answer. That is the speciality of a grammar section of your question paper. Remember that grammar is just like mathematics. If you write really, what do we call it, as a correct answer, you will surely get a full mark. But objective type of questions or descriptive type of questions are really will reduce mark because we may not be completely sure about the grammar, spelling and the construction of the sentences. Okay, this is what actually we are trying to do it. So, based on the grammar section of your question paper, we are going to learn first tenses. So tenses are mainly talking about tenses. So tenses mainly is talking about or mainly based on the verb. What is verb? Verb. So we have read so many stories, so many articles, so many poems, drama. Okay, one act please. Where we have come across so many verb. So verb can be classified into or divided into main verbs. Main verbs. Auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs. Please, you attend the class with a notebook and a pen with you. This is just like mathematics. English grammar section is mainly concentrating on the precise or minute explanation of the rules of using English language. If you are mastering the grammar, you are the expert of English language. So before starting the tenses, let us see some of the verbs. Verbs can be categorized into main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Main verbs and auxiliary verbs. You see, auxiliary verbs onwards we will start. To be forms, forms of to be, forms of to be. Remember, here the forms of to be, that is very important one. To be forms. So what are the kinds of to be forms of auxiliary verbs? They are, what is the meaning of auxiliary verbs? They are only helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. So they are not at all considered as a main verb. These auxiliary verbs will be coming together with the main verbs in order to make the verbs very clear in application. So let us see what are the forms of to be. Is, am, are. Try to know these are the auxiliary verbs. Is, am, are. I ask all the students to take a paper or a book and take note of this. Then you will be sure to get full marks in English grammar. Is, am, are all present. These are all present form of the verb. Present. Then was, were, past form. Has, have, had. Has, have, had. You see? Is, am, are present. Was, were, past. Has, have, had. Has, have, so present. Had, past. Then can, could, may, might, shall, should, might, may, might, shall, should. Again, ought also is there. Ought. Please try to understand. So these are the auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verb can stand alone and also come together with the main verbs. Main verbs, I will go to another section. What is that? Now let us very clearly understand, my dear student. Is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, can, could. Can present, could past. May present, might past. Shall present, should past. Then might, that is repeated. Ought. I ought to obey my parents. It is my obligation. Ought is also auxiliary verb is there. Okay. For example, there dash a car B is given. One example of a grammar question in your question paper. There dash a car. Please write the appropriate form of the verb given in the bracket. So, what is the correct form? What is the correct form of really, what do we call it as a verbal form? There dash a car, bracket B. What is the appropriate form of the verb? We can say is the is. That is to be form. So if a be form is given in the bracket, please try to know what is applicable in the dash there. Okay, so is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, can, could, may, might, shall, should, ought. These are actually auxiliary or helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Okay, now I hope that you have understood these verbs. Please take a note just like the mathematical equation in English language about the grammar. Okay, so there will be sure 2 marks question based on these auxiliary verbs in your final year or your public examination of English question paper. Okay, now we pass on to main verbs. Auxiliary verbs, you understand, please, once again I will give you, please pay attention to what are auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary means giving a support, a helping. Auxiliary here means helping words. These helping words are really coming from be forms because all the verbs will be starting with the to. What is a to? To is a root. To is a root. That is why be is actually the verb. That is why in the example I gave you, there dash a car. So be is the verb. What is the correct form of be? Is there is a car. For example, there dash cars. I cut A. A means here one. A. Okay. A brinjal. A brinjal. Brinjal is a vegetable. A means what? Indicating number 1. A brinjal. But look here, the question I changed. They are dash cars. So then what will be the appropriate form of be? Because cars, plural. Not one car. A car, first question, a car. A car means one car. A represents a number. A, one. So here I have changed the question. They are dash cars means they are dash not one car, more cars, more than one car. Okay, more cars are there. So what will be the correct form of be? There are cars. There are cars. Because cars are plural. In plural, correct verb is are, not is. But there is a car. One car is. So for singular is, plural are. There are cars. So correct form of be is are. There are cars. Like that, the coming class I will give you more examples of all these one. Now we are going to concentrate on main verbs. So auxiliary verbs, now you understood. What are auxiliary verbs? Helping verbs, which are coming from the root form of the verb to be. Be forms. Be forms, I told you, is, am, are, was, were, has, have, heard, can, could, may, might, shall, should, might, ought. All these are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs coming from the root form of the verb to be. Now, we go for main verbs. Please try to understand what are main verbs. After analyzing these two categories of verb, then let me ask you, I am talking about the verb. What is a verb? Very good. Verb, you must, there may be some students, of course, they can understand. Actually, verb means doing or action words. Action words. Action words. Action words. Verb means action words. What are the action words? Eat. Action. Something doing. That is what we call it as action words or verb. Sit. Stand. Wash. Brush, rinse the mouth, taking water inside, rinse. This is action. Some action we are doing. Such words are called verb, action words. Sleep, jump, run, wash, read, write, drink, all these action. The words showing different kinds of action are called verb. Those are action words. So these action words are main verbs. Okay, now let us see. Sleep, eat, drink. Please write down this one. So we will not make this one. Another, I will tell you transitive and intransitive verb, that another. Eat, drink, play, read. We can write read. Read and write. Write. Please, these are really, I have selected only 5 main verbs. So we are starting tenses. Tense we didn't start. So what is the root form? What is the root form? What is the root form of these 5 verbs? I told you in the case of auxiliary verb, be is the main auxiliary. Root form to be. Like that we can say that. What? What is the root form of verb? To read, add to it, to eat, to drink, to play, to write. W-R-I-T, to write. So actually these are root forms. You see, that is what we call it as a root form. R-O-O-T, root form of the main verb. There are numerous thousands and millions of English action words in English language all over the world. For your better understanding, I am trying to say only 5 verbs, action words with the root forms. To read, to eat, to drink, to play, to write. Very clearly understand. Your speaking skill will be developed, your listening skill will be developed, and your writing skill also will be developed by the time you are sure to get a good score in your final examination. Okay, so I have selected. Now let me ask you, with these 5 root form of the verbs selected, we are going to start the tenses in English language. Tenses in English language. My dear students, let me ask you, just if you want, you can type there. How many tenses are there in English language? How many tenses? Tenses, you know, kalangal. In Malayalam, we will say kalangal. Okay, Bhavikalam, Bhutakalam, Vartamanakalam, the present tense, past tense, and future. That in English we will never say tense. So actually, how many tenses are there in English language? So I will just conduct a Google Meet. By the time you can express your doubts. Otherwise, you can just type your. If you want to just to say the answer, please type your answer, I can see. So I am telling, mainly there are 2 tenses. Many students may have 3 tenses, 6 tenses, 14 tenses, 12 tenses. No, all these answers are wrong. Mainly there are 2 tenses. 2. Digit 2. 2 tenses are there. Then naturally people will say, then students will ask, sir, okay, present tense, that is what the tenses I am going to start with. Present tense, the time we are talking. The present tense has its 4 varieties. Tense, present tense has its 4 varieties. The second tense, present tense 1. Second tense is past tense. That means the action which was completed. The past tense also has four tense varieties. Present four, past four. അപ്പോൾ 8 tenses already come. Okay. Then you will ask her, only these are the two tenses in English language. Please, if anybody is asking you, just since you are learning English language, especially in the plus one students will be able to understand. You see here, then will and shall. Will, shall. Will and shall. You try to understand the will and shall. Will and shall means actually they are mainly talking about the future tense. Mainly talking about the future. It is not a tense, future time. Will and shall is not a future tense, it is a future time. Future time. Future time. That is why I told you, but in our Malayalam language, mother tongue, there are three tenses, മൂന്ന് കാലങ്ങളുണ്ട്. That is present, that is വർത്തമാനകാലം, ഭൂതകാലം and ഭാവികാലം. Okay, there are in Malayalam three tenses. മൂന്ന് കാലങ്ങൾ മലയാള ഭാഷയിലുണ്ട്. We have three tenses in our mother tongue Malayalam. But in English language, we have two tenses. That is present. Present means vartamana kala. Present tense. Then past tense. Second tense in English language is called past tense, or in Malayalam language we will call it bhutakalam. Bhuta means already finished, completed, which is not present in our time. Okay. Then Bhavikalam, Bhavi, that is actually in Malayalam it is considered as a kalam. Okay, tense. But in future, will or shall or Bhavikalam, it is not a tense, it is a future time indication. That is why even if in Malayalam we have three tenses or മൂന്ന് കാലങ്ങൾ, in past, in English language we have two tenses and one future time indication. Future time indication. Okay. So that try to understand. I will come tomorrow. Example of future time. I will come tomorrow. When will I come? That will happen not now, not yesterday, not past, but tomorrow. Tomorrow means which is to come. Future time, tomorrow. That is why we are using it with will and shall. Now, we are going to start the tenses. Try to understand that one. We are going to start the tenses. So tenses, first tense, as I have told, present tense. Present tense. Present tense. So tenses, Roman digit 1, write like this. Roman digit 1 and A. Present tense has tenses. First present tense 1, A, simple present. Simple present. B, present continuous. Present continuous. C, present perfect. Present perfect. B, present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. Please, my dear students, you have taken pain to, or you have worked very hard to attend to the class of grammar session. I will very slowly explain and make you understand. Okay. So I will repeat it and repeat because the grammar of English language is just like mathematics that you should try to understand very properly. So that is why I have given Roman digit 1 tenses. Okay. Then first tense is present tense. And the present tense has 4 categories or 4 groups. Okay. The first of present tense is simple present. We will very slowly go. Please take note of this one. Auxiliary tenses we have already studied. To be forms, is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, can, could, may, might, will, shall, should. Will, shall, should, would, ought. So these are the auxiliary or helping verbs. Now we are going to enter into main verbs. Verb means action words. Verb means action words. Verb means action words. So action words, I have selected 5 action words, that is to read, to eat, to drink, to play, to write, using the root form to read, to eat, to drink, to play, to write. Root forms of the verbs. So by using these 5 root forms of the verbs, the first tense is present tense. The present tense has 4 subdivisions, or present tense can be divided into 4 categories based on the time reference. Based on the time reference, in which time these actions are carried out or presented. So the present tense has 4 varieties. As the first variety, first category of present tense is simple present. How can we make a sentence with the simple present? Simple present is the first category of the present tense. Please take note of this one. Make it very clear for you. Then grammar portions of your English question paper will be very easy and you can score full marks for that. Okay. So now we are going for understanding the first tense, that is present tense. And present tense first category or division is a simple present tense. Simple present tense. How can we make sentences in simple present tense of the present tense by using these 5 main verbs? 5 main verbs. Okay, that is a good thing. You see, simple present tense. And after making these 5 main verbs in simple present sentences, where we will use this simple present tenses, or situation where we can use a simple present tense. That's all. You see here, to read. To read. How you will make a sentence in a simple present. That is why I am underlining. Please, we cannot make this sentence in any other tenses. Only we are making 5 main verbs into simple present tense. Simple present tense. Let us see how it is going to happen. To read. How we will make a simple present sentence. We will take a subject. What is actually a sentence? Yes, we all. A sentence should have a yes. Yes means subject. Doer of the action. That is, verb means action word. We means verb. Yes, we all. A sentence should have 3 elements. Then only it will be a meaningful and complete sentence. A sentence should have mainly a SVO pattern. S means subject. Who is doing the action? Verb means action words. Verb, subject, verb. And the receiver of the action is object. Okay. Why? Subject is the person who is doing the action. What is the action? Verb. And who receives the action? That is object. Receiver of the action is called the object. SVO pattern. When you construct a sentence, please try to construct a sentence using the SVO pattern in your mind. For example, when you write a sentence, in a sentence there should be a subject who is doing the action. And there should be what is the action done in the sentence, and the receiver of the action, who receives the action done by the subject, or what action is done. One example I will give you. Raman killed Ravana. Very simple. SVO pattern sentence. Otherwise, it is a past tense. We are talking about simple present. I will make a sentence in simple present. Kills. Very important thing. Please try to understand. Raman. Who is Raman? Raman is the person who is doing the action in the sentence. Raman kills Ravana. Raman Ravanane kollunnu, kills. Who is the subject? Who is doing the action? Raman. What action Raman does? Who is killing? Who is killing? Who is killing? Who is doing the action? Raman does the action. Okay. Raman does the action. Raman kills. What action Raman is doing, or what action Raman does? Raman kills. Kills whom? Kills Ravana. So subject Raman, action killing, kills, and who is receiving the action of killing? Ravana. So the sentence has subject, verb, object, SVO pattern. And it is constructed in a simple present. Raman kills Ravana. Raman kills Ravana. So, let us convert to the first verb. This is an example I told you. Now, to read. To read is really the main verb we have selected. So how will you construct a sentence into this one? For example, we have a Vismaya. We will say Vismaya. Vismaya is actually a girl. Vismaya. Vismaya, we have a reader. Okay. We have a reader. Vismaya reads. Vismaya reads. Subject reads, verb. Who is receiving the action of reading? A novel. A novel. Please write down this one. This is actually, what do we call it as? Vismaya reads a novel, because first selected verb is reader. First selected verb is reader. So we are making this read verb into a simple present sentence. Simple present tense. Okay. So Vismaya reads a novel. Vismaya reads a novel. My dear students, you may have this time one doubt. Sir, verb is a reader and the verb is to kill. Then why getting additional yes? The reads. Read, when it is made it into sentence, it is yes, reads. And Raman kill. To kill is the root form of the verb, but when it is used in simple present tense, it gets additional yes. Why? That is another reasonable doubt any student who is watching this class may get this kind of doubt. Why? So that is all. Simple present tense is used with the third person singular because subject is a third person singular. Raman. I is Raman. I is a first person. No, I am not Raman. You are the Raman. That means you, the students, are Raman. No, but Raman, no, you is not a second person. I am not Raman. I first person. I am not a first person. And you are not Raman. So Raman is not the second person, but Raman, another person, that is a third person. I first person, you second person, Raman third person. So when we use a verb with third person singular, it is not a plural, third person singular, Raman one person singular, Vismaya is a third, I am not Vismaya, you are not Vismaya. Vismaya is a third person and Vismaya is a singular, one person. Raman, I am not Raman, you are not Raman. And Raman is a third person. And when we use the simple present tense of the verb with the third person singular, we will add yes to the main verb. That is why Raman kills Ravana. Vismaya reads a novel because additional yes. Why? Because subject is a third person singular, one person. I am not Raman, you are not Raman. I first person, you second person. And Raman is a third person. Like that, Vismaya. I am not Vismaya, first person. You are not Vismaya, second person. Vismaya is a third person and that is a singular. When we use a simple present form of the verb with the third person singular, verb gets an additional yes. Additional yes. But in the case we are using I killed Ravana. I killed Ravana. I is a first person. Singular. But no yes. I killed Ravana. You kill Ravana. But Raman kills Ravana. Because I am not Raman. You are not Raman. Raman is a third person singular. When we use the simple present tense of a together with the third person singular, the verb gets additional yes only in the case of simple present tense. So we have taken the example of a first main verb, to read. To read. Vismaya reads a novel. Please everybody write down. Vismaya reads a novel. First. Now we will to eat. We are going to make another simple present tense with the main verb eat. Okay. They is actually third person plural. I am writing they. T-H-E-Y. They means Anju, Anu, Abhilash, Ebi, all these persons. Okay. They means third person plural. They eat apples. They eat apples. Remember, very important one. They eat apples. So what is the subject here? They. They means third person plural, not a third person singular. If third person singular is there, then verb will get eats. But it is third person plural, they eat apples. They eat apples. So, they subject, eat, we, verb, SVO pattern, and eating action is received by apples. Apples are being eaten. That when we come after finishing this one, active voice and passive voice, that also will be asked in your examination question paper. Okay, that's all. So, they, who is eating, who is doing the action of eating, they means a third person plural, not singular. They eat apples, and eating action is received by apples. Eating action is received by apples. That is why we are coming to know. Then, to drink. This also you can make it in simple present. Okay. Drinks. Drink. To drink. So how we will make a SVO pattern sentence? My mother you see, I am not my mother. You are not my mother. My mother is a third person and it is a singular. If it is a third person singular comes, a verb will be having additional yes. My mother drinks. My mother drinks a cup of milk. A cup of milk. A cup of, please write down, a cup of milk. A cup of milk. A cup of milk. You see here, I am not my mother. You are not my mother. My mother is a third person and my mother is only one, that is singular. When it is used in the case of a simple present, the verb drink, verb gets additional yes, and my mother subject drinks verb, and drinking action is received by a cup of milk. A cup of milk. That is what here we come to know. Then we will say play. Play. Okay. So we will make how this sentence will be. So we will use a third person. You play cricket. You play cricket. Third person. It is you is not a third person singular. So no additional yes. You is a second person. I first person. You second person. So when you is used, we will say you play cricket. That means now you play cricket. You usually play cricket. So that is why you is the subject, play is the verb, and cricket is really the object receiver, the action of playing. You play cricket. Now the last one is write. Okay, so we will use write. We write examination. We write, W-R-I-T, we write exams. That is a simple present tense. Who write exams? We is a first person plural. No additional S is there. We write exams. That means these are the exam days. We write exam. This is actually, please write down, we made simple present tense sentences using or selecting three main verbs, that is read, eat, drink, play, write. Okay, so I have explained the difference between adding yes to the given verb only in the case of simple present tense when it is used together with the third person singular. Okay, third person singular. Now, please, just before starting another test, personal pronouns. Please try to write down personal pronouns. Pronouns. Personal pronouns. What is a pronoun? What is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word which stands for a noun. That is why pronoun. So pronoun is actually a word which stands for a noun, is called a pronoun. My name is Tadeus. What is a pronoun for Mr. Tadeus? I. My name is Tadeus. I am 2 years old. So second sentence, I say my name is Tadeus. I am 4 years old. I did not use again Tadeus. For Tadeus I used I. Okay. So like that, Vismaya, you should stand. Vismaya, I called another person, that is Vismaya. So you, or Sultana. Sultana, you stand up. I am indicating Sultana and I am calling her you. That is second person. My uncle, I am not my uncle. You are not my uncle. My uncle is a third person. That is so we are going to understand the personal pronouns. Personal pronoun, singular, plural. Please make this table and take note of this one. Personal pronoun here means singular personal pronoun and plural. So personal pronouns has two categories, singular personal pronoun and plural personal pronoun. And first person, second person, you see here, first, second, third. Very important one. Please table wise try to make this one. Personal pronouns. Personal pronouns can be divided into singular personal pronouns and plural personal pronouns. Singular personal pronouns and plural. Singular means only one person. More than one is called plural. That is all. That is a singular. More than one, ഒന്നിലധികം ആൾക്കാരോ സാധനങ്ങളോ പിന്നെ മൃഗങ്ങളോ പക്ഷികളോ ഉണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ they are plural. That is what we are trying to make it. Okay, do you understand that one? So personal pronouns, what is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word which stands for a noun. ഒരു നാമത്തിന് പകരം നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരു വാക്കിനെയാണ് we call it as pronouns. Okay, then pronouns can be divided into two categories in the case of number. Singular number personal pronouns and plural number personal pronouns. Then these singular personal pronouns and plural personal pronouns can be again categorized in the first person, second person, the first person, second person, third person. First person, second person, third person, singular personal pronoun. Let us see what is the first person singular. I told you while I was teaching, I. Write down that one. What is the first person singular personal pronoun? I. ഞാൻ. That's the first person. ഞാനല്ലാതെ വേറെ ആർക്കും ഫസ്റ്റ് പേഴ്സൺ ആകാൻ പറ്റില്ല. Okay, that's all. So I, the first person singular. What is the plural of a first person I? We. That's all. ഞാൻ, ഞങ്ങൾ. In Malayalam we will say that I, we. Okay. I, we. First person singular I, first person plural we. Let us go back to second person. Second person I, first you, second you. Then what is the plural of second person? You, You, Amal. Amal is singular. You, Amal singular. You, Amal, Reshma, CJ, Sultana, Nasreen, Vismaya. You all stand up. So plural of second person is also you. So when you say single person, you means only one person. But you means Amal, Vismaya, and Sultana, Nasreen, and some other. You three stand up. There also I see for you three. Okay, so you, singular is also you, plural is also you. Now we are passed on to the last category, that is a third person singular. What are the third person singulars? He, she, it. Okay, please try to understand. He is not I, he is not you, he is a third person. Then she, I am not you are not she is a that person. It means a cat, dog, hippopotamus, dinosaurs, all these. I am not a dinosaur, you are not a dinosaur. Dinosaur is a third person, it. So cuckoo bird, I am not cuckoo bird, you are not cuckoo bird. Cuckoo bird is a third person. So that is why the third person singular is he. He is a masculine gender. He. And she is a feminine girls, we are telling. It is both animals and birds or things. For example, a cup. A cup is it. A cup is it. Television, it. Okay, so third person singular pronouns are he, she, it. Then what is a third person plural? They. T-H-E-Y. They. That is all. So that is why when we made these 5 sentences selecting the 5 major verbs, main verbs, with the root form to read, to eat, to drink, to play, to write. These are the 5 sentences or 5 main verbs we selected in order to study tenses. The first tense is present tense. The first division of the present tense is simple present tense. So here I have come again back to personal pronouns. What is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word which stands for a noun is called pronoun. And personal pronouns can be categorized or divided into 2 sections of singular personal pronouns and plural personal pronouns. And these single and plural personal pronouns can be categorized as to their status, like first person singular and plural pronouns, second person singular and plural pronouns, and third person singular and plural pronouns. That is why we got I, we, you, he, she, it, they. The first person singular I, first person plural we, second person singular you, third person singular you, second person singular you, second person plural you, and the third person singular he, she, it, and third person plural they. Now, by concentrating on the personal pronouns, let us analyze the sentence. You see, Vismaya reads a novel. Who is Vismaya? Vismaya means she. That is third person singular. That is why verb is getting additional yes when it third person singular is used together with the simple present tense. The verb gets additional yes. Vismaya reads a novel. And second one is eat. They eat apples. You have written down this one. They eat apples. What is they? They is a personal pronoun standing for a more than one individual, people. They is actually third person plural. Vismaya is a third person singular. They eat apples. So they is a third person plural. Then let us see drink. My mother. My mother means she. Okay, my mother means she. I am not my mother, you are not my mother. My mother is a she, that is a third person singular, drinks. When third person singular is used with the simple present tense form, verb gets additional yes. My mother drinks a cup of milk. Okay, my mother drinks a cup of milk. My mother drinks a cup of milk. Then let us see play. You play. You play means what is you? Second person plural. You play cricket. You means or 7 or 9 students are playing cricket. You play cricket. Second person plural. Then a writer. We write exams. What is we? First person plural. First person plural. Now, please take note of all these things very carefully. Sure to score high, full mark if you really understand these grammar sections. Really understand these grammar sections. Now, we will go for the second tense of present tense. The first category, that means the first division of the present tense is simple present, where we will use the simple present tense. Another question. Then we will go to the second division, present continuous, where we will use the simple present tense. So, habitual action. Habitual action, very important one. Please try to know. Habitual action. Habitual action. What is a habitual action? Just like a habit. You see, they eat apples. That means every day they eat apple just like a habit. Vismaya reads a novel. That means every day Vismaya as a habit reads novel. Then you play cricket every day as a habit. ഒരു ശീലമെന്ന കണക്കം habit. Just like a habit, you play cricket every day. That is why simple present tense is used for habitual action. As a habit. As a habit they are using this one. Then we write exams, not every day. Each time, each term, or every month, as a habit or as a unit test, they write the examinations as a habit. Okay, then we will use, so that is what here we are just trying to know about this one. I am just rubbing off. Please take note, just like a, what do we call it as your habit. Every time in other classes, please come with a notebook and a pen. And write down, I will make you. If you don't understand, please type, I will explain to you. Now, habitual action we have written. Then, universal truth. Universal truth. Universal truth. So, simple present tense is used for universal truth, for exposing or focusing the universal truth. Let us see what are the universal truth. The sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east. The sun. You see, rises. S-C-S. Additional S is given. The sun. I am not the sun. You are not the sun. The sun is a third person. It. What is the pronoun we will give for the sun? It. The sun rises in the east. Simple present tense is used for Universal truth. Sun rises in the east. Okay. The sun sets in the west. The sun sets, S-E-T-S, sets in the west. In the west. The sun sets, S-E-T, additional S. I am not the sun, you are not. The sun is the third person singular, and the pronoun it sets. The sun sets, it sets in the west. Universal truth. Okay, universal truth means it is always true every time, everywhere, all over the world. That is why we call it as a universal truth. Stars appear at night. Stars, you see stars, I am not stars, you are not stars. Stars, third person but plural. That is why stars appear at night. At night. So stars appear, not appear. Stars is a plural, not a singular. It's third person. They appear at night. Stars appear at night. Stars appear at night. Third person. So it is a universal truth. Stars we cannot see during the daytime. So it is visible only at night. Stars appear at night. Okay, that is why. And cow gives us milk. Cow gives us milk. Cow gives us milk. Universal truth. Cow does not. Of course, cow gives us milk. Okay, it is a universal truth. Cow, I am not cow. You are not cow. Cow is a third person singular represented by it gives us milk. Cow gives us milk, gives additional as is given. So all these universal truth, we use a simple present tense. We use a simple present tense. Okay, so habitual action, universal truth. In these situations, we will use a simple present tense, the first division of the present tense. Okay, now we pass on to present continuous tense. So I just rub it off habitual action and universal truth. Main verbs finish. Okay, my dear students, now we pass on to the second division of the present tense. Simple present, first division we completed, used to for habitual action and universal truths. And when you go to colleges, other situations where you will use present, simple present tense. Now we pass on the present continuous. Present continuous tense, main verbs, present continuous tense. What is the use of a present continuous? Where do we use a present continuous? When the action is going on at the time of speaking. നിങ്ങൾ പറയുന്ന സമയത്ത് ആ പ്രവർത്തനം നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോഴാണ് we will use present continuous. There is a formula, please write down. Is, am, are, plus verb plus ing. Please formula. Formula of a present continuous tense is, am, or are. 3. Is, am, or are plus verb plus ing. Plus verb plus ing or ing form of the verb. Then what is the formula for a simple present tense? The formula for simple present form is to cut the root form. To cut the root form. To cut the root form. To take the main verb. Take the main verb. That is simple present. You see, I will make you once again understand the formula for the first category of the present tense is simple present is to cut the root form. What is the root form? To cut the root. Take the verb, read, eat, drink, play, write, cut to, and that is a simple present. And additional s is added when it is used together with the third person singular. That is a formula. Please write down. What is the formula for making simple present? First division of the present tense simple present is cut the root form to. What is the root form here? To. Root form is to. Root form to, and take the main verb and take the main. Please write down. To cut, please cut the root form to and take the main verb, that is simple present, and add s to it when it is used together with the third person singulars like he, she, it. So we are going to analyze the second category of the present tense is present continuous tense. So I told you the situation where the present continuous tense is used. That when the situation where we use present continuous is at the time of speaking. When the action is going on at the time of speaking. When the action is continuing. Progressing. നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രവൃത്തി തുടർന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്താണ് we will use present continuous. Another word for present continuous is progressive. 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 So what is another word for continuous is progressive. The action continues at the time of speaking. പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ആക്ഷൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രവൃത്തി നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ we will call it as a present continuous. I am drinking milk. At the time of speaking, I am drinking milk. Understand it? So at the time of speaking, the action continues. That is what we call it as present progressive or present continuous tense. That is the second division of the main tense, present tense. The first division of the present tense is simple present. I have told you all those words you have taken note. So the second division of the present tense is present continuous tense. The present continuous tense continues or the action is going on at the time of speaking. At the time of speaking. Let us make this one. So formula is or am or are plus ing form of the verb. Ing means verb plus ing form. Okay. So first one. So what is the first sentence? Vismaya read. Vismaya reading. Vismaya is. Vismaya is singular. So Vismaya is read plus ing. First one. Vismaya is reading a novel. Please write down. Vismaya is reading a novel. Vismaya is reading. Please make up the first sentences you made. First we told her Vismaya read a novel. Simple present. Vismaya reads a novel. Vismaya says third person singular, so verb gets additional. Vismaya reads a novel. Now present continuous tense. So formula is am, are plus verb plus ing. So Vismaya is reading. Read plus ing. Reading a novel. First look at the simple present tense sentence that you are making it. Then to eat. They eat apple, simple present. How that will be changed into present continuous? They eat, T-H-E-Y, are eat plus ing. They are eating apples. They are eating apples. They eat apples, simple present. They are. Is, am, are plus eat plus ing. They are eating apples. So this is present continuous or present progressive tense formula. Is, am, are. Is, am for singular noun, singular subject, are for plural subject, and personal pronoun. They means third person plural. They are eating apples. Then to drink, my mother. First look at the present, simple present tense. My mother drinks a cup of milk. So present continuous. My mother, please everybody write down. My mother is singular. So he is drinking, drink plus ing, drinking a cup of milk. A cup of milk. A cup of milk. Very important one. My mother is drinking a cup of milk. Present progress. When we speak, mother is drinking a cup of milk. That is, the action is continuing at the time of speaking. Then play. They play. They are playing. Play plus ing. They are playing. You are playing. We will say that is all. You. We use the you in a simple present. You are. Not you am. Not you is. You are playing. You are playing cricket. So at the time of speaking, you are all playing cricket in the ground. On the ground. Okay. Then last one, to write. To write. Okay. So last one is to write. We am no correct. We is no. We are writing exams. We are writing exams. We are writing exams. Present perfect. Is or am or are plus verb plus ing. We are write plus ing. We are writing exams. You see? So we are mainly talking about the tenses. There are mainly two tenses and one future time indication, will or shall. And the first is present tense. The present tense is further subdivided into four groups. Simple present, present continuous. Okay, simple present and present continuous. And we have written 5 sentences from the selected 5 main verbs and converted these sentences into simple present tenses and present continuous tenses. I think it is time for almost us. And my dear students, in the coming classes we will start with so simple present is over, present continuous is over. Then present tense, third division, present perfect and present perfect continuous, we will continue in the next class. What I am telling is, please, as day before yesterday, one day ago, I have aired the complete notes of Gooseberries, the short story by Anton Pavlov Chekhov. Please, everybody, those who are absent, I will call them today to their home and think about the PTA meeting on Saturdays and Sundays for 11B and 11F, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.